Today, I'm talking to you about where to find your ideal customer. Now, the key is always knowing that customer, knowing who that is, the research, and we kind of broke down in our last video, making sure that you understand that the research is going to have four components. And there's a lot of questions to ask about your customer, but you need to ask those questions. If we look at the businesses that are on the forefront of anything, they are and have been, and it's been a subject of many court cases. They've been collecting information of their customer or their clients. Facebook, Microsoft, Instagram. I don't know if they've ever been in court, but they are now. These are the ones that have been using for years AI to capture our information. If you didn't know that, if I have a Facebook app on my phone and you have a Facebook app on your phone, and we all show up to the mastermind, and everyone that has a Facebook app on their phone, Facebook is collecting that information, and they know that we're also, not only we all have the same Facebook, we all have Facebook apps, but we're all in the same space, which then they start to market and advertise us to us based upon not only my profile, but your profile. And then there's a relationship now that is built based upon our profiles. And so you may go to Home Depot later that day, and they will then also send me the Home Depot things. And if you really want to get really creepy about it, if they have access to your mic, they will have conversations of us talking about certain things, and then we're talking about blue and white socks, and then you'll have ads that come up on the side of your Facebook or in your Facebook page that are now presenting socks to you. So we have to understand that this world of AI has been around. There is a disabler, and I'm not sure of how disabled that's going to be because of all the apps. I disabled everything on mine, as much as I think I can, but I still get very interesting advertisements. So, but the key is, there has been collection of data. Every time I flip a page, every time I look through something, every time I do something on my phone, if I'm in YouTube, I do something in my YouTube, the algorithm is actually tracking that. If I'm on Instagram, the algorithm is tracking that. So whether or not it's going to connect me with someone that I'm with, it's going to actually put us, it's going to collect enough information so that anyone that wants to find out if I'm their ideal customer, there's ways to do it. And what we need to do is use those ways, because Chat GPT is now just allowing us to use AI, but AI has been used for a long time. This is what all these algorithms, they changed their algorithm. Why did they change their algorithm? Because it's, this is how they are making sure that they're putting you in front of the right people. They're making relationships and connections. And if you really come down to the root system of all of these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know the origin story of it, but Facebook, YouTube, the origin story of YouTube is not that they wanted to build a platform for you to show your last vacation to friends or give a how-to to people, but the goal of it was a dating platform. Okay, so if you think about the mindset of dating, just the psychology of a dating platform, the psychology of a dating platform is that I want to make sure that I get enough information from you and enough information from you to be able to bring relationships, to make relationships, to bring connectivity. Facebook, very similar in their origin story. They wanted to make connections. Well, the way you make connections is you have to get enough detailed information, data collection, data mining to gather that information, and then you try to find the connection points. What are the common grounds in the data that you've gathered? So you and I have to come to this place, in this position, where we're not so grossed out about it and so creeped out about it, but realize we can use it for our benefit to find our ideal customer. Now, the more I know who my ideal customer is, I now need to know where to go fishing. How am I going to fish for them? I gave the scenario of fishing with the right bait, making sure that you're getting the right customer, you're getting the right attention, and you're maintaining that attention by building relationships. So I get their attention, that's great, but how do I keep the attention? And where do I find them to actually put that in front of them? So when we realize that there's some platforms in this world, in the marketplace, that are constantly collecting information and want to create a dating scenario for me. I'm going to use that. I know, don't get weird on me, but what they're trying to do is make connections. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and believe it or not, if you've been going through our training with Weston, if you've been going through our training if you've been going through our training on the books, on being a bestseller, then you know the realization is also in Amazon. There is AI platform that they're trying to bring that connection. They want your book to be connected with the person that's searching for that book. And they make the connection by you being a solution to someone's problem. So this is how the dating app works. I want to go on a date. Someone else wants to go on a date. Now they're going to put us together based upon what would they want to go on a date for. Date to do. I like to eat. I'm a foodie. That person's a hiker. This is a false scenario. I'm married for a long time, so I'm not looking for a date. But that person's a hiker, and I'm a foodie. Well, okay. So do you want to hike or do you want to eat? They may not be the best. So this person's a foodie. This person's a foodie. Oh, they also like to eat, and they also like to go on hikes. They both are hikers. Okay, so they're going to go on a hike, and then they will come together and they will eat later. Well, that's fine. So then let's look for another criteria. And so what they will do is they will establish enough criteria together to bring the context. And again, bring that connection is going to be based upon problem solving in our world. Problem solving. So if you understand, the moment I go into YouTube, the first how-to that's coming up in this space is going to be how to tie a tie. All right. So that if I'm teaching gentlemen how to dress, then that would be a video, a conversation, a white page, or something I want to put in my book, right? This is for YouTube, it's going to be video, but you also do the same kind of search. So when I go into YouTube, when I go into Google, when I go into Amazon, the how-tos are going to be great. Knowing how to. So if I just type try to connect me with what my search is, what my typical search is. If I go into Amazon, and let's do the how to win friends and influence people. Okay, how to win friends, influence people, both the top, how to draw. So these books are going to be things that I'm going to look through that list and see if my ideal customer is searching for any of those things, along with in Amazon, the category searches, and using the toolbar is going to be a great place to find the connection, the relationship with your customer. The moment I put in how to or what is, what I love about Dad book, that's a good one. But that's probably because of Father's Day. It was highly searched because of that. What is, right? So what is anti-racism? What is book series? What is inflation? You just you keep typing things that are associated to your product, your book, your solution, the problems that you think your customer may have. And you do that on Amazon, do it in Google, do it in YouTube. And believe it or not, one of the rising competitors in the search engine world is Pinterest. Life Skills 4. I mean, it was like huge. Life Skills 4. I was doing Life Skills 4. Let's go back into YouTube if I can pull that back up. But let's see what it looks like here. Life Skills Tweens. Well, what's the tween? A tween is a teen I guess I should figure it out. What is a tween? But life skills for tweens, life skills for teens, life skills, right? We call the elderly keenagers, right? So we have life skill for keens, life skill for tweens, but life skills is a huge, huge book. Money skills for teens. So you get book ideas here with Life Skills 4. You can go into, if I can go back into YouTube, I'm going to get to teaching in a minute, but I get so thrilled about this because this is what you want to do. You want to use this search bar in all of these platforms. Life Skills 4. Okay, so the top thing that comes up with Life Skills 4, first one is Life Skills for teenagers. The second one, Life Skills for kids. Life Skills for, these are all videos to make. We saw what books were going to be are highly searched. And at the top of the highest of the toolbar is the highest of the search. So this is the highest of the search. This is something I searched previously. These are the highest of the searches. So if I realize if I do a life skills program and I'm a life skills teacher, I can go through and go, oh, I need to do a video on all of these life skills. So I'm building my credibility so when my book comes out, I have videos on all of the life skills. I'm now associated to life skills with teens or life skills with teens or life skills with special needs. I'm associated to, so I'm now building that brand and I'm building myself out into this place. So I'm going to use this toolbar. I'm going to use this toolbar in my Google search. Life skills for adults. In Google, the highest and first search is the life skills for adults. So it's not the life skills for students in Google, it's life skills. So I'm going to look at all of these platforms. If we wanted to keep deep diving, we can go into Pinterest and see what's the life skills for these things, because life skills for all of these are going to be extremely important. So when you are looking at your ideal customer, now let me just give you the 4 things and criteria that I want you to focus in when you're looking at your ideal customer. And then when you go to find them, go fishing in those 4 platforms that I told you, because those 4 platforms are fishing holes. And those are you have 3 billion viewers and people on YouTube now. You have, I don't know how many people in the marketplace of Amazon, and then you have the masses of YouTube YouTube is owned by Google. You have the masses of all of those billions on Google, and then you have I don't know how many on Pinterest, but Pinterest is also a problem and solution oriented. It's a dating game to connect you with your right customer. Don't actually just go out there and just try to hustle it out. Use the wisdom, use these keywords, learn how to discover your customer, who they are, and now you know where they are. They all are, they're on social media. Well, and again, you don't have the same kind of results if you go into Facebook. You do Facebook ads, you do Instagram ads, you do TikTok ads, you do Twitter ads, those kinds of spaces. But now that you know your customer, now your ads aren't just launching out into the dark. You're actually fishing in these fishing holes with advertisements that are going to be really specific and really dialed in based to your customer. So if we really wanted to go micro, we went macro with the idea of, okay, life skills 4, then we get macro when we go teens, all these others. When we dig deep, then we go even further, life skills for parents with teenagers, right? Or, these life skills, we can actually, because there is a life skills for adults, but then there's a life skill. The more you add to that search and it keeps giving you detailed information, then you're getting macro. And then you take that macro information, you create your advertisement to a specific person, gender, whatever demographic, you build it directly to them. That's now the fishing. That's the fishing reel you want, because you're going to catch that specific kind of fish. You don't want to just jump out there and just throw it out there. You want to be very specific in what you're fishing for. And so do the research. Spend the time with trying to understand the demographics. So the first thing is, number 1, understand demographics. Number 2, which is going to be the demographics, is going to be age, gender, anything that's external, the kind of house where they live, the kind of car they drive, the kind of things the activities they do outward, right? Those are going to be, it's probably more gender, age, the money they make. So the psychographics is going to be the beliefs that they have, the values, the attitudes, the motivations, the lifestyle choices, the fears, the those things that they consider valuable. Those are going to be the internal. You want to make sure you understand this client. And again, I did all of this in the previous, but just a little bit of review. And then the online behavior. And then from the online behavior, you want to know what their behaviors are. So this is, I can't tell you enough. Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, these companies are spending hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on these algorithms and learning and discovering and data mining and understanding your client, understanding the people that are on their platforms. They have made this information available to us by the search bar. The search bar gives us a little bit of a idea of how that works. Now, when I look at the search bar, I look at the search bar with this idea that when God sent a prophet, he sent a prophet because God heard the cry of the people. When God hears the cry of the people, he sends a prophet. When you do the search bar, you're hearing the cry of the people. Now it's time for you to be the prophet, to show up with your gift, to show up with your ability, your solution for them. So use the search bar. It's something. Now, AI, I don't know if ChatGPT is going to help us or any other levels, but that's now put in our hands to ask certain questions. But that's more productivity and solution oriented for certain things. Create, I don't even want to call it creation, but a productivity app that allows us now to do what other people are doing by using AI. But the ability to use someone else's budget to actually help me find my client is what Amazon did by giving me a search engine that tells me by that search bar. Google did the same. Pinterest is doing it. And then realizing that YouTube has done it. Facebook hasn't given me a search engine toolbar, but they have collected that information so that I can be present and presented in front of my client. That the same with Instagram, I can run ads and be presented in front of my client, but it's my responsibility to know my clients, my client's online behavior, my client's offline behavior. When I have enough of that information, then I can go into how to find them. And so we talked a little bit about how to find them and getting into this position where I'm going fishing. And I'm not going to go fishing for random, but I'm going fishing for the most specific, with the most specific information that I can for that client. I'm not looking for a billion people. I'm looking for, I want 1 million people in my social media platforms. I want 1 million people in my TV stations. I want 1 billion people watching what I'm doing. But I want to build client relationship with the very specific ones, because those we're going to meet of the minds. We're going to have a relationship, and you don't want to have a relationship with people that you have an awkward relationship with. You want to have, if you have a coaching client, if you have someone that you're doing life with, you want to make sure that you are with that person, and it's a very clear love and interest and intriguing relationship, not a I have to bear with this person. So spend the time, work on this, get clear in these things, and then do the research of what your psychographics is, what the demographics are, what the online behavior, what the offline behavior, what do you know about it, and then take this into a position where you're going fishing, and you're going to Amazon, Google, and YouTube, and you're really using that search bar. And you're don't forget, when you're looking at the search bar, you're looking for the problems and that your customer has, that your client has. And so some of the things you're going to think of, this is like Dan Kennedy stuff, right? You have to think about the kind of problems that these people are having. What's keeping them up at night? What's making them toss and turn? What's their challenges? Because that's what you're going to be the answer to. You're hearing their cry, you're hearing their prayer, you're hearing their complaints through the search bar. And then you're going to show up as a prophet or an angel, and you're going to solve that problem. And when you realize that they have a fear, you're going to come and solve that fear. They have an anger, they have a frustration, they have trends that they're watching and they're paying attention to. And everybody's talking about Chat GPT, or they're talking about whatever trends, right? Google has even a Google Trends platform, and you can go and find out what are the actual pop cultural trends. I don't know if it's everyone's trends, but it's you are there. You're the pop cultural trend. You can go and find out what the trends that people are interested in and show up in their trend. Show up in their conversations. Basically, what you're going to do. You don't want to interrupt the conversation. Most advertisement and most of that has been just interrupting a conversation. But if you know more about what someone's talking about, if I'm sitting next door. And I have a bug, which sounds creepy. This is not the life that I'm living. But if I have a bug in someone's, at someone's table, and I'm at another table, all of a sudden I hear their conversation, I come and sit down and I'm able just to enter into that conversation, that's not going to disturb it. And if I come and say, hey, I'm a psychic and I'm interrupting your conversation, that's weird. But and if you're a prophet, that's not weird. If you're spiritually a prophet by the right spirit, that's not weird. But if you have the ability to enter into a conversation without stopping that conversation, then your relationship is going to be quickened. You're going to have a faster build in your relationship. There's not going to be strange looks when you try to change the subject. When you come into the conversation and you're going, oh, we're talking about life skills for whatever it is, tweens. We're talking about life skills for tweens. Then, oh yeah, I have a book on life skills for tweens. Oh, really? Tell me about it. It's not awkward. But if they're talking about how to go and buy a London Fog coat and you come in, hey, I have a book for life skills for tweens. That's weird. That you cut the conversation off. You've interrupted the conversation, and now your relationship moving forward is going to be rough. So you'd want to know that when you're advertising, when you are creating something, you're creating for a conversation that's already being had. People are having it in their head. They're having it in their heart. And if you can know what that conversation, and I mean, that's amazing. I am amazed by God, how he only answers the conversation that people are having. He doesn't jump in and just start, hey, here I'm God. I want to tell you something. I'm going to do, right? He's having a conversation based upon your needs, and whatever your needs are, he sends a superhero, or he sends a prophet, or he sends some kind of deliverer to come and help you based upon the conversation you're having in your heart towards him or in your circumstances. So we can do the same thing, understanding what they're dealing with, they're going through, understanding their biases, understanding that these things. So I want you to understand that you're going to jump into a conversation that's already being had. No one is living and walking this life without a conversation. It's already there. The advertising and the marketing that works is the advertising and marketing that actually joins the conversation, not the one that is interrupting the conversation. When you think about that, God has given us the ability through these platforms that have discovered in this all-knowing, they want the God factor, right? The all-knowing, the all-present, the all-ability. That's what they're trying to duplicate with their AI. Now, we know we have a God relationship, that he is all-knowing, and the way he handles things is he responds to the conversation. If we know information, let's respond to the conversation. Let's not just write books because I have something that I want to say. I'm now writing books based upon the search that I hear people's conversation. If someone's having a conversation, I'm writing this book. The reason I'm talking to you right now about the things that we're talking about is because I hear this conversation. People are asking these questions. People are dealing with these problems. How do I find my client? Who is my client? What is my ideal client? How do I influence them? The way you influence them is by not interrupting their conversation. The key to a stampede, I studied herd mentality, herd mindset, and herd behavior. Herd behavior is built into everyone. Everyone has a specific herd inclination, right? Being a part of a herd. And being a part of the herd, that gathering a part of the herd. I'm an Apple user, I'm an Android, or I am a Samsunger, right? But that's a herd. These brands are now herds. I am Nike, I am Adidas. These are herds. These herds have a behavior. There's a natural behavior in and if we realize that, these herds are now important that we understand when we start to go for the masses. If you're just fishing for one off, that's not a problem. But if you're fishing for the masses, if you want to sell 100,000 books, if you want to sell 200,000 books, if you want to actually create a video that goes viral and 1 million people are viewing it, you have to know and understand that the herd is moving somewhere. And that herd is it could be in a stampede. That thing could be running like the AI conversation is a stampede. Now you can't jump in front of that thing. You're going to get ran over. Hey, I got something to tell you. We're not going to do AI. What we're going to do is we're going to, Betsy, help me. You get ran over. You're not going to be able to jump in front of that herd because that's a stampede. You've got to jump right in there and you've got to run with them. And the only way that you can stop a herd is by taking it over. You get your way to the front and then they will follow the behind that's in front of them. I'm sorry to say it, but that's I gotta say it. So you got to get into the herd, jump in front of them, and then you've got to position yourself there. And in that position, you've got to lead them the direction you want. And so, so you've got to know that this is going to be important. You're going to have to take the leading position but you have to know what to do. Have you ever thought, why didn't Jesus come into this system that we knew needed to be changed or needed to have a new leadership in it? Why didn't he just come in and go, I am the Son of God, I'm taking over this thing? Why did he come and live 30 years in it? Why did he live 30 years in it and then spend 3.5 years changing the direction of it? Well, the realization is you have to know what system you're changing before you can change it. You come in and go, I have a new solution. You're going to get ran over. You're going to get ran over. You need to be put in this position where you're able to, he would have been ran over. He would have been ran over by the herd. You need to be put in the position where you understand change, the change that needs to happen, and you need to embed yourself there and then bring about change, right? Get into the herd and then move it. That you can become a leader of it, but you're going to have to do it on purpose and do it intentionally. So let me give you the next thing. How are you going to get their attention? When you are working to get attention, my time's gone. When you're working to get attention of people, it's a payment, right? When people pay attention to you, they're exchanging something for what you're doing, what you're presenting. They're going to exchange time. They're going to exchange emotion. They're going to exchange feeling. So you want to make sure you dial in sensual expressions. And when I say sensual, I don't mean, hey, come on, girl. I'm talking about sensual, being that having the thoughts, the eye gate, the ear gate, the taste bud, the touch, right? Those are your senses. And when you all of a sudden create this relationship with the senses, they're going to keep paying attention, right? The attention is a combination of your senses and your focus, and you want them to have their attention on you. So you're going to have to get their attention, and then you want them to pay attention. So how do you get their attention? Remember, we've been talking about the burning bush, Moses walking on the mountain, busy with his sheep, the burning bush, the bush is on fire. He walks past it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, he looks back. Oh, that's really interesting. And then he looks past it again. It's going to take more than one time to pay it for someone to see your ad to actually start paying attention to it. I mean, there used to be 5. I think it's now 11 times because of the overstimulation of advertisement that we have. I believe that it's about 11 times a person needs to see your ad before they actually know what they've seen. It used to be 5 to own the spot, to own that spot, to be 5. But now I believe because we are highly oversensitized and our attention span of actually paying attention has now been broken down to 7 minutes to a video or to 3 minutes now with our relationship with TikTok. And 3 seconds. So we're talking about 3 seconds. A person has 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds to capture their attention, to get their attention, or they're flipping through. So they're going to pay it. You're going to get their attention. You have 3 seconds to get it on a YouTube video. Before the commercial kicks back in. So if you notice, a commercial will come on, and all of these things are psychological. They're not just, oh, let's do it. So they give you 3 to 5 seconds. I believe it's now 5 seconds before that person can skip. right? So they give you 5 seconds. You have 5 seconds to get and keep a person's attention. Now, when you realize that, you want to know as much as you can about the person that you're fishing for, so that you know where their emotions are, you know where their sensory, how they're going to be, where their senses are. And if you can get that and you can mirror it and match it. The goal is to mirror. When you mirror someone, you actually you're keeping their attention. You're getting their attention mirroring. If you stand on the street corner and all of a sudden someone's standing there and they go like this, and then you go like this, and then they'll go like this, and then you'll go like that, and then if you mirror someone, you get their attention. So you want to make sure that you're doing your best to mirror and match. When you are advertising, when you're creating this space, you want to mirror and match. You want to be in front of them, and you want to make sure that they see themselves in it, that they see themselves in whatever. So when you see Jesus, he goes to the book, and he opens up the book in Luke 4, and he opens up the scripture, and he reads. It says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He's anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor, to heal the brokenhearted, and preach deliverance to the captive, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty the bruised, and preach the acceptable year of the Lord." And he says, today, this is today fulfilled in your sight, right? So what is he doing? He's now seeing himself in the scriptures, and he wants them to see him in the scriptures. Well, it was a little bit outside of timing, because they take him and they want to throw him off of the cliff. Now, this is how you interrupt a conversation. Well, Jesus is Jesus. He gets to do whatever he wants to do, because by the end of it, when they're trying to throw him off the cliff, something he did to his being, his DNA, where he was able, the crowd's pushing him to the cliff, and he's able to walk through the crowd to leave. Now, I don't know if he did it to get them to push, and then all of a sudden he can go, let me show you something. I'm proving this. I'm going to walk through you. Whatever it is, it was bad, mamma jamma stuff. That was powerful. But the fact is we need to get this. We need to see ourselves in it, and a person needs to see themselves functioning in it as well. So we want to mirror in the match. Then you want to have in your mind, I'm going to be their deliverer. I'm not here just to sell you a product. I'm here to deliver you from your pain. I'm here to set you free from your gripe and your complaint. I'm here to help you overcome your frustration. When you understand this, when you are their deliverer, the people are going to pay attention to the fact that you're their deliverer. If you go and you say, hey, listen, I have a product, that's not going to help. But if you say, I have a solution for you, then that's going to help them. When they understand that you've come to solve their issues, that's going to get their attention. And then you're going to create an offer using the bait. You're going to create an offer using the bait. This is where people experience a lot of pain, is because they don't know how to create now an offer with the bait. They have the solution, and they know how to, but they don't know how to create now an offer and present their solution to them for an exchange. Now, I've exchanged my attention. We've exchanged attention. Now, if you want to go deeper and you want to build a relationship with this, and you see that you have to now create an offer. And we're going to talk about how to create an offer in days to come. But you're going to have to learn to create an offer. You're going to have to learn to offer your services and not feel guilty that you're offering your services. Not feel like, oh, I'm not worth, $1 million an hour. Maybe your solution is worth $1 million an hour to someone. Maybe your solution is, how do you know if you don't create an offer with that person in mind, with the bait in mind? Again, the bait is the solution. Understanding how you're going to help them, and if it's enough, if it's $1 million pain, they'll pay $1 million. If not, it's $100, $1,000, whatever you're presenting your offer, it's going to cause a solution. So knowing how to create your offer is going to be a big, powerful part of getting their attention. Then find where they're swimming. We talked about where they're swimming. Find out where they're swimming. But there's other things. There's other things in the demographics. When you research, you're going to find out, oh, you know what? All the people that live in or think this way or have this kind of psychology, they gather over here. They gather over here. So this is extremely important. This is extremely important that you understand in business, we're talking about business, that you understand that you have the ability to find where they're swimming by their association. Again, we go back to that interesting app thing, Facebook app, that we know that the app, the Facebook app and Facebook app puts us together in the same place. Well, they know we're swimming together. So you're gonna pay attention to the demographic. The more you know about your client, the more you'll find out where they gather and who they are attracted to. The herd will be the same. You'll find others there with it. And then again, as I said, join the conversation. Don't interrupt the conversation. That's in how to get their attention. The next point I want to give you is how to keep their attention. How to keep their attention. Again, this is business. So we're talking about your product is going to be the solution for this person. So if I am selling, if I have a certain kind of spice and seasoning that's necessary for a specific kind of dish, then I am going to be, they need that spice and the seasoning for this dish, and I'm the only one that they can get it from, then I become their deliverer. I become the solution for their problem. Their problem is they need a spice. They need this certain spice. And so I am going to take this spice to them, and I'm going to offer, hey, I have this spice here, and I'm only selling it for $1 million because I'm the only one selling it. I'm just joking on that price. But this is the spice, and you have the problem. You're putting on a dinner party. You want this certain dish. There's a spice that goes with this dish. I have that spice. I'm going to sell that spice and the seasoning to you. I've now been your deliverer. I'm now the one that's helping you solve your problem, right? So understanding that we are the delivering factor of a person's gripe, problem, frustration, shame, whatever it is, we're going to help them overcome it. If that person is dealing with teenagers and that don't have life skills, they don't communicate, they don't have emotional intelligence, they don't have whatever life skills they don't have those life skills. I have a life skills video book, training course. I have life skills. Now I am going to be the answer. I am their answer to their prayers to God, because I'm showing up with my skill set, and I'm helping them. So don't forget, this is business. We're actually going to be this person's blessing. So when you understand that I'm going to not only get their attention, but I want to keep their attention. Here's some points in keeping attention. Hopefully you're making some notes here. Here's some points. Number one, build value up front. So when you build value up front, a person wants to keep paying attention. They want to keep walking with you. If you're offering, if you're not thinking about them, but you're still thinking about just how do I get you to buy my stuff, then you're not actually building value up front. So build value up front. Over deliver, over more than what you promise. Over deliver. Do something up front. You can give not discounts. We don't want to use the word discounts, but you can give opportunities to get involved. You can give, we do free challenges and free summits. These are opportunities for people to have value up front. So think about value up front. Relationship equity. Build the relationship equity. Know that you're not just trying to get a buck, but you're building relationship with these people. And when you build relationship with them, you're going to walk with them. You're thinking about the equity of the relationship. Now, there's two things that I want to give you that are a little side note, because I think sometimes we don't know the differences. We don't think about them. We know them. When I say it, you're going to say, oh yeah, I understand that. There's a difference between income and equity. Income means what I'm getting now. Equity means what I'm building in the value of my asset later. It's going to become an asset. It's going to be something that's going to continue to pay me dividends moving forward. When you're thinking about relationship equity, you're not thinking about income. You're not thinking about what I'm going to get from you now, but I'm thinking about how we're going to live and have this as a equitable relationship moving forward. I'm building equity. I'm building ownership in our relationship. So you don't think that through. And then the next point of how to keep their attention is keep their needs in mind. Keep their needs in mind. And that's, we've been hammering that the last 45 minutes. Keep their needs in mind. Make sure you're thinking about them. The next part, and a person loves when you're thinking about them, when you're talking about them, when you're using their name, when you're helping them, that's extremely important. Then the next thing is keep it interesting to them. Keep it interesting to them. When you don't keep it interesting, then you put yourself in a position where you're just going to be boring. So don't be boring. Keep it interesting to them. Build relationship based upon their interests, and that's a part of that equity. And then be calculated and intentional in unconditionally meeting their needs. Now, this is extremely important. Be calculated and intentional in unconditionally meeting their needs. I'm going to meet your needs. I want to meet your needs. I'm intentional about it. I'm not going to be, I'm not, there's, of course, there's exchange, but I am intentional in meeting your needs. Now, I'm not putting a condition on the fact that a prejudice on it, but I'm going to meet your needs based upon I've thought it out, I've planned it out, I've strategized this, and this is how this relationship is going to go forward. Don't change their conversation, just direct it to its a solution. I'm going to keep regurgitating. That's probably not a good word. I'm going to keep reiterating this. Don't change the conversation, just direct it. And the more you can keep from changing the conversation and keep the conversation on them, their problems, and the solution, the longer their attention will be there. So remember, advertising is getting the attention. Marketing is maintaining the attention, keeping their attention. And then that is relational. That is keeping the relationship going, staying in front of them and making sure that you continually help them get to that next level. The next thing I want to talk about in these last few minutes, I hopefully have enough time to do it. I'll finish off this positioning part, and next week we'll jump into next video. We'll jump into the branding, making sure we know how our brand stands out in front of these people. So this positioning part, what does my channel, my product, my book stand for? What does it stand for? What is the thing that I am going, this is who we are, this is what we're stand for, and then realizing that is going to give you a solid positioning. But that's only a portion of it. We're going to break down the rest of it as we come back. But understanding what you stand for. And then when you understand what you stand for, and then you understand, when I understand what I stand for, because I'm a kingdompreneur, I am not someone who just can do whatever I want to do. I can't drop my values to do business with you. I must know that I have a stance. I stand for your breakthrough, but I stand for the kingdom of God. I have, right? So there's a cause in you. When you understand that cause, what is your business? What is the cause of your business? What is the thing you stand for? When you start to be a creator in that, you're going to have to answer this question. And I want you to write this down. If I'm going to give you a fast action this week, this is what it's going to be, is why are you perfect to create your book, to create your coaching system, to create your videos? Why are you the perfect one? What makes you perfect? What have you walked through? What have you gone through? What have you experienced? Going back to that, right? Your mess, your 5 ways that you turn the mess around, and then having your message, going back to what makes you. And when you understand that, and you understand the problem of your client, and you understand how why you're the one, the messenger, why are you the one that you've been sent? That's important that you have that you can make that connection. You can bring those two things together, knowing that I'm bringing these two things together because I've experienced it. I know what it feels like to experience it. I know what it feels like to be in your position, and let me help you. Now that's going to be extremely important that I identify that. When you identify that, when you're working on that, you're going to think through 3 points. Number one, identify your aha moment. When you realize that you needed to start your knowledge-based business, or you needed to write your book, or you needed to start doing your videos, or whatever you needed to do. I needed to start presenting my business to the world. I needed to start my podcast. Or when did that hit you? When did that hit you? What was the aha moment? Identify that, because you're going to ground yourself in you being the solution. You're going to ground yourself. When God had Moses take his hand and he put his hand in his chest and he brought it back out. Moses had a revelation of what was going on. He had leprosy in his heart, right? He had bitterness or brokenness or whatever it may be, put it back in there. And then God says, but I can restore it. When he looked at this little uncommon staff in his hand, he says, raise up this staff. I'm going to show you something. And he drops it on the ground, and it turns into a snake. And then all of a sudden he drops it and it becomes a snake. He sees that what's in his hands are no longer common, even though it looks common to everyone else. This common, he was able to make it uncommon, and God was going to use the things that were common in his life in the past. We're going to make them now uncommon in the future in front of the Pharaoh, and that this was how he was going to be the deliverer and setting people free. When you realize your aha moment, this is the realization that you are not just a common individual, but these moments have created for you an uncommon picture, an uncommon position. And now you have a staff that can drop into a snake, or you have a hand that can that is able, a heart that has been affected by something, but I'm able to make it clean again. When you realize that those moments are moments that you're going to present to other people, and you're going to present it to pharaohs, and you're going to present it to slaves, and people are going to come out that you're not common, but you are uncommon. And when you can take the common moments, the common things in your life that everyone's experiencing these pains, and realize that there's a lot of other people experiencing these challenges, but I'm going to make it uncommon because I have an aha moment, I have a deliverance, I have a freedom that has come to me, and I'm now going to show you how it works. When you realize that I've got to do something about this to help other people, make sure you write that down, because it grounds you. It grounds you into being, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I know my family doesn't see it. I mean, because before I started anything, my family didn't see. They were like, not my children and my wife, but my family, right? They're like looking at me. Okay, they didn't get it, but the realization is, I felt like there was something uncommon in my life. I felt like that, even though I was common, just like everybody else, but I feel like I'd gone through some things. I'd experienced some things that actually could separate me, and it gave me something to talk about. So when you realize that, it grounds you. That no matter what the world says, no matter what anyone else says, you're going to be grounded, and you're not going to be insecure about where you're going and what you're going to do. So you want to make sure you stay in that zone. And you're going to stay in that. Then the second one I'm going to give you, and these things are helping you understand why you're perfect for this, why you're the right person for the job. And this is about your positioning. You have to know, I'm positioned in this by God. I'm positioned in this by my story. I'm positioned in this by the circumstances that I've overcome, by my 5 steps or my 3 steps or my 2 steps, or whatever it is. I'm positioned in this. When you know your positioning, then you will also be able to present that positioning to other people. People say, well, why should you be my coach? Well, I'm able to tell them, well, because of this, I have this aha moment. I have these things. I've been able to do this. Not only has it worked for me personally, but I've been able to work with this many people. I work with this many people. I have this many projects. I have this. The positioning is going to be extremely important. The second part of your positioning is going to be identify one part of your story, or one part of your story your audience will relate to most, that you can share at least one part. Of course, you have 20 things, but you're going to have one that is going to be, this is going to be the one that is going to connect with the most of the people, right? You're going to find that one part. And of course, we're building this out, and this is your positioning. So you're going to build this out with your message, your moment of transformation, and your message, making sure you understand that. And then number 3, this is building the positioning. Identify 3 to 5 credible building facts that uniquely qualify you to create this knowledge-based business. All right, so there's some facts about you, some things about you. Now, these are going to be the 3 steps, the 5 steps. It's going to be important, but these are now establishing you as my position. The reason is because I've done this, I've accomplished this, I've been able to. And when you establish that, you're going to you establish your positioning. Then the next conversation we have is going to be about how to establish your brand in that positioning, and making sure that you are recognized and you are clearly seen, that there's no fuzziness to your brand, being clear in your brand. All right, so that's my time with you. Hopefully you've had some fun, and we've kept your attention, and share and make sure you let people know.